Do you like monsters? Would you ever want to control monsters? For example, the creatures that are in the Wheel of Time series, the Trollocs. Would you ever want to control an army of those things? Or perhaps maybe not so horrific as those. Maybe let's go back to ancient Greece, the Minotaurs, Medusa, the Cyclops. Would you ever want to have the ability to direct them or control them? Just curious about that, because it kind of a question that comes into play later on, and how would you use them? So keep that in mind as we go into this episode. Now, Ark and Arion 5 reach the border of the Empire. It's a border town named Kashyyyk or Kashi or something like that, and it's pretty heavily fortified, pretty heavily patrolled, so they're having to keep on the down low to make sure they don't look conspicuous to any of the guards so they don't get noticed. Now, they split up once they get into the city and decide to meet up back when it's the sundown. We get several pictures of Ark meeting with vendors, Ariana meeting with crooks in the back alleyways, keeping her face hidden because, as we mentioned before, the Empire enslaves elves, so she has to be careful not to show her face or she'd be in deep trouble being in the Empire. Now, it is getting later in the day at this point, so Ark is starting making his way back to the meetup place to reveal what he's found to Ariana and vice versa, when all of a sudden he stumbles across an alleyway where there's a prostitute that's being accosted by a group of rogues. Now, this prostitute accuses these guys of being with her friends that have long since disappeared. I presume these friends were the two prostitutes we saw in the last episode that got fed to monsters. And they're like, well, don't worry, we'll bring you to where we have them. And smartly, the prostitute is pretty much in fear for her life at this point, tries to resist, but they just keep grabbing at her. Now, at this point, Ark shows up and knocks the living daylight out of the three, saving the woman from, well, her death sentence pretty much. At this, the woman rushes forward and hugs Ark for saving her life. And at this exact moment, Ariana is turning the corner into the alleyway, greeting Ark and seeing a prostitute hugging him. Now, she has a great face on her, like, what the heck is happening here, man? What's going on? And Ark's just like, oh, perfect timing, Ariana. I just saved this woman from all these rogues. And Ariana's just like, do you stick your nose into everybody's problems? And Ark's just like, well, if it's within arm's reach, of course I do. And Ariana's just like, whatever. She goes up to the prostitute and looks at her and like, wait, you aren't even all that harmed. What are you still doing here? Get out of here. Kind of in a frustrated voice for some reason. And the prostitute's just like, oh, but I still have to thank him. And Ariana's just like, no, go home. Now, to be fair, that is the right move to do because Ark is a skeleton. The last thing that anybody wants is that to be revealed and them to be hunted by everybody in the city. But I am going to say, if you are like a normal dude and you saved a chick's life and you might get lucky that night and your friend or your girl that's a friend comes over and scares her away, I'm just going to say, I'm going to be pretty pissed. I'll be pretty annoyed. Like, what the heck are you doing, bro? Like, you obviously don't have emotional feelings for me and yet you're scaring away a great night. What the heck is wrong with you? Now, it's fair because she has feelings for Ark, but she hasn't really revealed them, so it's just kind of that annoying situation where one party feels something, but the other party doesn't because they have no idea that's even a possibility. Now, they leave the alleyway, leaving the three rogues where they are, since the woman's going to be safe now, and they make their way to the market. Now, Ark is apologizing to Ariana for not being able to meet her up, and Ariana just like, it's fine, and just keeps on walking, not even looking at him. That she's still not over the fact that he let some other hussy hold on to him. Ark is confused, like, hey, why are you so prickly all of a sudden? And Ariana just bites back and like, I'm not, and she stomps off. Confirming for Ark and Ponta that, yeah, she's still pretty annoyed at them, but there's not much that they can do at this point. Now, him and Ponta follow Ariana out to a ledge where they're overlooking a fortress that apparently a group of elves have been brought there over 4 months ago. Ark mentions that it's unlikely that the elves are still there, but they still need to go out and check it out. So they head down to it. Now, as they're walking towards this fortress, Ark's like, hey, by the way, how did you find this intel so quickly? We've only been here for maybe less than a day. But Ariana does just say, oh, well, certain someone helped me with that information, while another somebody was out fraternizing with the woman on the street. Ark completely missing the dig at him for being with the prostitutes and kind of annoying Ariana that he would even stoop to that level. He just goes ahead and laughs at, wonderful! So who got you this information? He just completely is oblivious to the fact that she was very annoyed about the whole prostitute woman part. And when he looks over at it again, she's just completely gone, dude. She's just speeding far ahead. And Ark's like, hey, wait, what? Hold on. Are you still preckish with me? And she's just like, no, I'm not. And he's just like, okay, okay, you definitely are, but we'll just deal with it later, I guess. Having no idea. If I was him, I would be like, is it your time of a month, ma'am? Like, what are you getting so mad at me about? Now, Ark and Ariana make their way into the fortress relatively easily. It's not like the slave market guards that they're at just a couple episodes ago. The guards here are somewhat pretty light, so Ark and Ariana are able to break their way in relatively easily. Now, as they're exploring the complex, they find that there's a massive underground area to it, and they're like, what the heck is going on here? Now, as Ark and Ariana are exploring this underground compound, they come across Fabio, who has just come from feeding those three rogues to his white tiger because they failed to bring back anybody to feed the rest of the monsters. And the reason why he's here now is because he heard a commotion from the rest of his monsters that someone's causing a fuss. Now, immediately as soon as he lays eyes on Ariana, he immediately tells her to kill Ark and come see him. Now, at that, Ark's like, what the heck are you telling her for that, man? Like, come on, Ariana, let's go beat this pump into a pulp. And Ariana does draw her blade out, but in the next step, slashes at Ark, which he barely defends off, and starts attacking him consistently. Ark tries to cast an curse on her, thinking that Fabio had cast a spell, but it seems to have no effect, and Ark knows his spells are working just fine, so it has to be something else. When all of a sudden, Ark notices something strange inside Ariana's cloak. He points to Ponte to go in and check it out, which he promptly does, pulling out a little gross creature inside Ariana's hood. Ark immediately casts a fireball at it, killing the creature in an instant. As soon as the creature is dead, Ariana starts to collapse to the floor, which Ark quickly catches her. Fabio, impressed that Ark was able to kill his imp, says it won't do him much good though, because he has now summoned the rest of his beasts, and it's a giant ass white tiger. Fabio then goes monologuing on how he's about to die, revealing himself to be a monster sorcerer. Ark putting two to two together pretty much means that this dude's a monster trainer, just having able to control of all monsters no matter what, and is able to send them into battle. Now, as he's monologuing, Ark goes ahead and slices the head off that giant white tiger, causing him to be shocked for a moment, but not before it brings out his whip and starts summoning a whole bunch of other monsters to come and kill Ark. Ark, he's able to deal with them pretty easily with a slash here, a slash there. No one really stands a chance against the strength of Ark. So, curious to see what you guys gotta say. With that, I'll say goodnight. You guys have a good one, and thank you for watching. Y'all take care now. Bye. And due to him not being in the same place at the same time, Ariana is about to be killed by a giant ogre creature. But before she is killed, Lady Chomaine shows out of nowhere and casts a water prison on the ogre, drowning it inside. And say like, nope, they're all dead. We killed them all. And then the ground starts to shake. And Pepe's like, oh, well, not all of them. I still got my ultimate monster. Let's bring this thing outside because I got someone for you to meet. And immediately he starts to run away, and the roof starts to cave in. Ark wants to chase after him, but Lady Chomaine pulls him back like, hey, we got to get Ariana out of here because she's still unconscious at this moment. Ark's like, okay, fine. He picks her up along with Lady Chomaine, and they teleport outside above the compound to see a monstrous creature emerge, having the control of monsters. Would you, using this way that Fabio is doing by summoning them, feeding people to them, and building a massive army, would you use your ability to shield people away from them, to protect them so they wouldn't end up being consumed by these creatures? Not mess with them, just keep them away from my family. I did really enjoy about this episode, showing how Ariana is having a lot more feelings for Ark, that she's becoming more of a just woman, that she doesn't really enjoy seeing other good-looking women up close against Ark. Now, she's kind of one of the worst kinds of females, that she's jealous that any woman's coming close to you, but she won't tell you her feelings, and so you're kind of in this limbo state. So it's kind of the worst situation. So I like that she's starting to develop those. Poor Ark, he's just too dense like most dudes to realize that she cares. You really get to see their relationship become something more. Real recent, I mean, the last time we were talking with her, she was going to be leading a large group of beast people up into the mountains over to the Jinsu clan to keep them safe from being recaptured by the kingdom. So I would kind of like to know why she's here instead of back with her kin, bringing them home safely. So that would be an interesting explanation in the next episode. I'm looking forward to hearing what that's all about. But let me know, what are you guys looking forward to in the next episode? What do you want to know? What do you guys want to find out? I'm curious to see. Would you go the way of Fabio? Is Ariana being too immature and not telling her feelings to Ark? And is Lady Chomaine showing up maybe a little bit too coincidental? Curious to see what you guys got to say. With that, I'll say goodnight. You guys have a good one, and thank you for watching. Y'all take care now. Bye.